Hey, welcome to a new episode. Today we're doing a midlife refresh on this 2006 Cirrus SR22. And unlike paint, we're actually going to start with the seats. So it's a 2006, it's 2021. They've seen some wear, but overall they're actually in pretty good shape. You can see there's some scuffs, a few cracks, a few small tears as well, but either way we're going to start with a good cleaning first. Arguably the most satisfying step of this whole process. So now it's time to actually fix some of these issues after cleaning the seats. We start off with an air-cured leather filler and fill in these cracks. And we want to make sure to remove as much of it as possible so we're not filling in the texture of the leather. We really just want to fill in the cracks and make them a little bit stronger. These holes, on the other hand, they need a little bit more work in order to fix that. We start with a stabilizing back cloth. So all of this fabric gets shoved in there and then it's glued into place. And what that does, it allows the repair that I put in there, it kind of gives it a grounding and it helps keep the tear from pulling apart. So here we glue that in and let this dry. The smaller hole on top, just a little bit of glue in there. It wasn't all the way through. And then we kind of push it back together to minimize the amount of repairing that I have to do. For this step, we use a heat activated filler. Unfortunately, my head blocked most of it. But that pink skin that I just put on, that's actually a grained silicone mat. I get it really hot with a heat gun, and I push it in, and it imprints the grain of the leather onto that repair material. So here's before, here's after, and of course we're still going to paint it. Now to get a good color reading, I like to average some readings here and there, and one of the issues I found is that the center seat inserts were a lot darker than the sides. Looking at the back of the seat, however, where it hasn't aged, it became apparent that they should be the same color, not a two-tone seat. Now this odd combination of colors is in fact what produces that specific 2006 Cirrus beige interior. I sponge some on, again on the back side where we haven't had any wear or aging or discoloration, then hit it with a heat gun, and you can see it more or less disappears. There's a slight gloss difference between the original and my paint, but I'm going to fix the gloss differential after paint with clear coat, so we match the sheen of the original leather. Very happy with that color match. So next step is sanding. Sanding makes the surface rough so it sticks paint. It also levels out all the filler we applied so we don't have any flat spots. We want this to look like leather, not flat plastic, right? Got to be very careful around stitching and also the embossing. You don't want to erase that. Then wipe everything down with a special solution to make sure it's clean. And no sooner than I started painting, this is primer going on, the camera died. Fun. So I'm not doing a very good job filming on this job. The camera battery died while I was in the paint booth painting and not wanting to let paint dry in the paint guns. I was like, you guys have seen me paint before, that's not the exciting part. So seats were done yesterday. Today I put a full battery in the camera,
However, the camera stays on because it's in remote control mode, so the screen stays on. So by the time I get here, dead once again. So I've been slowly charging it up with a USB charger, but in the meantime, I got half of this plane polished, and it's making quite a difference. You can see how the oxidation has turned the airplane kind of a yellowish tint. Paint correction takes the oxidation off and resolves it to a beautiful, smooth, white surface. So that's where we're at now. I'll try to film more on the other side, but I also forgot my tripod. So this is what the camera's on right now, just kind of sketchy. But I'll try and capture some more of that. I do have some good before and afters, and those are always satisfying. You've seen me polish airplanes before, so you know, if you really feel the need, go back to an older video, but let's get back to work.
If you look closely, that's the forced rotation flex. So it's kind of halfway between a rotary and a dual action polisher. It puts down more power on the surface than a just free spinning dual action would, but it doesn't quite generate the same heat as a rotary, which is important when you're working on a composite airplane. After polishing, we wipe the whole airplane down with panel wipe, which is a strong alcohol solution to remove any polish residue that might be within the paint. And after that, the most controversial part, ceramic coating. The coating is wiped on wet, and then leveled out as much as possible with the wet sponge, and then we use a number of dry microfiber towels to get everything level and shiny. All this paint correction work, you know, 6 to 12 months, if we don't protect it, it's all going to be chalky again. So that's why we coat, protect the paint, and make it easier to clean.